Today, let's embark on a journey through the solar system to meet Venus, a planet that was once very similar to Earth, but ended up taking a completely different path. Venus is our neighbor and shares many characteristics with our planet, like its size and composition. For a long time, it was considered Earth's twin. But while Earth became a welcoming, life-filled environment, Venus transformed into a true space inferno, with scorching temperatures, an extremely dense atmosphere, and even acid rain. But how did this happen? What could make two such similar planets end up with such opposite fates? These questions not only spark our curiosity but also help us understand more about Earth and the factors that make it habitable. By studying Venus, scientists search for clues about our solar system's past, and these discoveries might even help us prevent Earth from meeting a similar fate. So, get ready to discover the incredible story of Venus, a planet that teaches us how full of surprises the universe can be and how the conditions that make Earth a safe home are both rare and fragile. As we explore this infernal twin, we'll learn what it can reveal about our own planet and how that knowledge might help us protect it. The planet Venus. It's one of Earth's closest neighbors in the solar system. Do you know why it's called Venus? It's named after the Roman goddess of beauty and love. But guess what? Even though it's the second planet from the Sun, Venus is the hottest of them all, even hotter than Mercury, which is the closest to the Sun. Venus is so hot that it's practically a space inferno. The Venera 13 probe, which was sent there, managed to capture an image of the surface, but guess what? It lasted only 2 hours and 7 minutes before overheating due to the extreme temperature. Now, a question for you. Which planet in the solar system is most similar to Earth? Type your answer in the comments. If you thought of Mars, don't worry. Many people do. After all, Mars often appears in the news when it comes to searching for water or considering an alternative place for humanity to live. But in reality, Earth's twin is Venus. Surprised? That's because it has a similar size, mass, density, and even the same composition as Earth. Although Venus is super hot today, with sulfuric acid rain, imagine a blazing hot summer in Rio de Janeiro. It was quite similar to Earth in the beginning. They even formed almost at the same time, with similar materials, as they were born in the same region of the nebula that created the solar system. But then something happened, a mysterious event, that turned Venus into this scorching planet, while Earth continued on as the habitable planet we know today. So the big question is, what caused Venus to become an inferno? To find out, we'll need to travel back in time and understand how it all started. More than 4.6 billion years ago, the solar system was just a cloud of gas and dust. Something caused that cloud to collapse, perhaps a supernova that exploded nearby. And that's how the Sun and the planets began to form. With gravity pulling everything together, Venus and Earth formed close to each other, so their compositions ended up quite similar. Both have an iron core, a mantle, and a crust. But even with all these similarities, their destinies turned out very different. But the similarities don't stop there. Venus's atmosphere, at the beginning, was a lot like ours, filled with carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Imagine two planets so similar growing side by side. So you might wonder, why did Venus become this inferno and Earth didn't? The answer lies in the chaotic past of the solar system. In the beginning, everything was a mess. Asteroids and other objects flew in all directions, colliding with planets and even the Sun. In this chaos, two important things happened. A small planet called Theia collided with Earth, creating our moon, which helped stabilize Earth's rotation. Meanwhile, Venus was also struck, which likely caused it to spin in the opposite direction. Yes, Venus rotates backward, making its days extremely long. One day there lasts longer than a year here on Earth. And here's something that makes a big difference. Earth has the moon, which helps keep our climate stable with the seasons. Venus doesn't have a moon to balance it out, so its climate is almost the same all the time, a blazing heat. Being closer to the Sun, Venus always received more light and heat, which eventually evaporated all the water it might have had. Venus also has a big problem. It lacks tectonic plates, which, on Earth, help balance gases like carbon dioxide. Without this cycle, Venus's CO2 stayed trapped in the atmosphere, forming an extremely dense layer that holds in the heat, making the planet incredibly hot. The atmospheric pressure there is 90 times higher than ours. There's so much carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide that it can even rain sulfuric acid. It almost sounds like a tale of bad luck, doesn't it? But in reality, all these events together transformed Venus into this scorching, uninhabitable place. And here's an interesting fact. Scientists believe Venus might have had tectonic plates in the past, and maybe even oceans. Could it once have been habitable, like Earth? This discovery makes us wonder, is a planet's habitability just a temporary phase? And could Earth one day meet a similar fate to Venus? These are mysteries that astronomy is still trying to unravel. So, could life be more common than we think? Or was Venus a place where life tried to exist, but bad luck took over? We don't know the answer yet. The story of Venus is fascinating and full of mysteries we're still trying to solve. When we look at it, our neighbor in the solar system, we see a planet that, despite being so similar to Earth at first, took a completely different path. It shows us how seemingly small factors, like the lack of a moon to stabilize its axis or the absence of tectonic plates, can have enormous consequences for a planet's future. This journey makes us reflect on the complexity of the factors that make Earth such a unique home for life. Earth is fortunate to be in the habitable zone, where conditions are ideal for water to remain liquid. In addition, tectonic plates, the magnetic field, and the moon work together to keep our climate and atmosphere balanced, something Venus never had the chance to fully develop, and it's this delicate balance that allowed life to evolve and flourish here. Studying Venus is like looking at a possible future for Earth and better understanding how climate, atmosphere, and geological processes can completely transform a planet. These observations help us reflect on how we can take care of Earth to prevent it from going through a similar transformation. Although we can't predict all the paths our planet might take, these studies show us how important it is to preserve and respect the environment we have. So Venus's story is, in part, a warning. It makes us question whether a planet's habitability is a temporary condition, and whether Earth might one day follow a similar fate. Science is still trying to unravel these mysteries, but what we already know encourages us to take action. After all, Earth is our home, and taking care of it is our responsibility. Every discovery about Venus reminds us that, in the vast universe, our Earth is unique. And while we uncover the secrets of other planets, we learn to value our own. Venus can serve as a lesson on what it means to protect what we have and ensure that Earth's future remains bright and safe for generations to come. Oh, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. See you next time.